Well, I guess we should carefully examine the individual first before passing any judgment on him.
What I want to do today is a little different. I'm not one to do reaction videos because I don't react. But this video is making the rounds on the internet, especially here in the Philippines, because of this Filipino boy, Raul Contreras. Everyone on this panel is good, but this kid is very well spoken, very outspoken. So he came across very well, made a good impression on the entire internet. First, we're going to see what Raul has to say.
When a person loses track of the dignity of the human soul and begins to judge others not on the basis of their being persons, but on the basis of race, creed, economic status, that is prejudice.
Now that was one of his opening statements, and that got a lot of attention. I don't know if that was a prepared statement, but it was very well put. The original video was posted by Archive MC back in March, so it's 3 or 4 months ago. It has 3.5 million views. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you go watch it after finishing this video first. There is a link down below to this original video. It's really, really good. The panel is a Japanese girl, a Indonesian girl, Philippine boy, and a British girl. I kind of feel sorry for the British girl because the 3 Asians just kind of gang up on her a little bit. But to be fair, she does say some rather stupid things. It's not her fault. It's the way she was raised. She bought into the colonial line of crap. But she does seem to learn from it. I want to give a big thank you, huge shout out to my executive producer, Linda Delacruz. And a wonderful thank you to whoever has bought my book. And to anyone who hasn't bought it, it's still available. Makes a great stocking stuffer, I guess. The Indonesian girl doesn't say a whole lot. She seems to be not as good at English and a little shy. But when she speaks, she makes some good points. This is one I really like.
Zara, what do you think prejudice is, Ratnati?
I think prejudice is a feeling of hate of people as a group or individual toward other people.
You say a feeling of hate. Do you think prejudice is as strong as hate?
Yes.
You notice that? Yes. Period. There was no going beyond that. She's like, is it as strong as hate? Yes. I'm like, she's talking sense. They do get into a little bit on colonialism, which this particular show was supposed to be about racism. There are other episodes on colonialism. So they kept trying to draw it back towards racism, but there's a lot of overlap, and the Indonesian girl made some very good points on it. Here's something that I love, the interaction between her and the British, talking about colonialism.
You know, when we started our colonization, we thought we were doing good for you. I know that you disliked, for example, in Indonesia, you disliked the Dutch there. But they probably thought they were helping you.
They were not helping us. See, you mentioned that we're lazy. We're not exactly lazy, but they didn't give us a chance, and we didn't get experiments to build our country.
Yes, we're helping you. Like, no, we didn't get a chance to build our own countries. Starts out good. What kind of comment do we get?
You criticize the countries which do, you criticize the Dutch, for example, but I know the British, when they started doing their colonization, they tried to help the countries they were in. But you think that we were butting in and taking away your opportunities. Well, we hope it will make them satisfied. Every country wants to be independent, that's only natural. But there comes a point somebody to decide whether they're ready to receive their independence. But I know we could go off on another long argument about that.
Okay, who gets to decide when they're ready? And did you notice when she was saying, we're helping people, the Indonesian girl just kind of has this smile like, yeah, right, helping. I just found this on YouTube recently, and it's really blown up online. So I wanted to talk about it because I just find it so interesting. And this Filipino kid got so much attention. Well-deserved attention, I would say. Here they're talking about some of the racism in the U.S. Since they're visiting the U.S., it does fit.
The South?
I guess taking the American side of it, it's just that the white people don't want to mix themselves up with the colored ones.
So what about the colored
Don't
people?
say
Perhaps
it.
they don't want to mix with the
Don't.
white people either.
Oh, she said it.
Since all Americans claim and emphasize that America is the most democratic country in the world, and as long as segregation exists, I don't think it's a democratic. I mean, pure democratic.
Well, adding something to that, isn't it that, well, in the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag, you mentioned something about with liberty and justice for all. Well, the last phrase just doesn't suit everything. I mean, with this segregation problem here and the discrimination against colored people, how in the world could you have liberty and justice for all?
He does make some very good points. And luckily, some of this has been addressed over the years. Not enough, not all, but we have made progress. Kind of feel sorry for the Japanese girl. She just didn't get a chance to say much, or she's too shy to butt in. But you gotta wonder why. And here she describes what it's like for women in Japan, because they open the doors and offer seats to men. Check out Raul's response.
How about
They
now?
had first opportunity to everything, even getting out of the door. Women had to open the door first, and the men passed first. And in the buses or theaters, men take seat first, and if there's no seat, women had to stand up.
Oh, I'd love to live in Japan.
Yeah, I just love that. I don't think he really meant it, but it was a great comment. In the comment section of the original video, there is a lady that says she is the daughter of Raul. My first thought, of course, is, yeah, I could say that. I could go on there and say I was his daughter. It's the internet. Who knows? But GMA did an interview with her. There's a newspaper article. I will link that also down below. And they interview her, and she says that was, in fact, her in the video. So she's found, someone pointed it out to her, so she's over here watching her father at 15. I think that would be amazing. I have no idea what my parents were like at 15, because they were old and gray, first thing I remember. You know, they were never young. So it would be interesting to go on and see this. But he did go on to pretty good things. According to his daughter, he studied at San Beda College, worked in advertising and public relations, ended up working on President Aquino's presidential race. So he has done well, and apparently his highest achievement is being a doting grandfather. So it's nice to hear that he did well. I don't know what happened to any of the others, but since this is the Philippines, a well-spoken Filipino kid speaking so plainly and truthfully has gotten a lot of attention. I enjoyed this whole series. I've watched probably half a dozen of them so far from the 3 different channels. And it's been really interesting. I enjoy hearing what others had to say, seeing what has changed, what hasn't changed, and the interaction between the kids. And it was just really interesting. Like I said, the British girl said a few off-the-wall things here, but in other episodes of these interviews and discussions, you could see the light coming on and the gears turning, and she was like, so she was learning from it. I thought it was really good to see that. I think this is a great series. It's a great idea. We need someone to start doing it again.
Well, I guess we should carefully examine the individual first before passing any judgment on him. And if we ever pass a judgment, we should be just with it.
That's a good note to end on.
Enjoy your day in paradise.